Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming to you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Central this evening with another installment of Doc Ock at noon and 9. I hope you're ready and can hear my rhyme because you know I'm doing this all the time. I do it at noon, I do it at 9, and every time I do it, I like everybody to leave our show feeling real fine. Yeah. But let's start off on the right foot. First things first, you know what I need you to do. Go ahead, if you're watching on Facebook, give us a like. If you're watching on the tube, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. And then, no matter what platform you may be enjoying this broadcast on, please, please, please make sure to go ahead and share what we're doing here with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your enemies. Turn them into some frenemies. Let's see what we got for a proverb today. Ooh, I got a long one for today. This one is for the children. If your son laughs when you scold him, you ought to cry, for you have lost him. If he cries, you may laugh, for you have a worthy heir. If your son laughs when you scold him, you ought to cry, for you have lost him. If he cries, you may laugh, for you have a worthy heir. And that is a proverb from Senegal. So we got a Senegalese proverb today. That's a different one. I haven't heard that one before. Makes a lot of sense, though. I can dig it. All right. So let's see what we have today for a story. I hadn't picked one out yet, so I'm not sure what we're going to be reading for today, but we'll find something real good. And we're going to be reading again out of our African American Book of Values. This book right here is a real treasure trove. Trust and believe that. It's a real treasure trove. There's so much wisdom and knowledge in here, it's not even funny. All kinds of stories. I got one I'm looking at here, written by Barry Gordy. We read one yesterday, written by a woman who was part of the was one of the leaders of the Montgomery bus boycott. Now let's see what I can find in here. Here we go. Now, being as how Juneteenth happens in the summertime, you know that one of the favorite, or I should say one of the favorite activities to engage in during the Juneteenth celebration would be the Juneteenth baseball game. That's right, the Juneteenth baseball game, because for the most part we lived outside the cities, out in the countryside, and so basketball wasn't really our game. Football we played to some extent, but baseball was the national pastime, and it's a pastoral sport designed for people who are living that life of ease, that go slow, in that go slow mode. They're not in a hurry mode like some of us city folks. So this story here is about the Negro Leagues, and it's written by none other than Willie Mays. Some of you may have heard of Willie Mays, and some may not. But if you have not, hopefully you'll know a little more about Willie when we get done. So just kick back and get chilly while we read a story to you written by Willie. Before 1947, when Jackie Robinson crossed professional baseball's color line, Major League Baseball was a quote-unquote white man's place. Hall of Famer Willie Mays remembers the segregated leagues of yesteryear. Teams like the Kansas City Monarchs, the Homestead Grays, and others drew huge crowds. As many as 50,000 fans attended Negro League All-Star games in Chicago, USA. Black people took special pride in their favorite teams. Jackie Robinson wasn't the first black ball player to wear a big league uniform. He was just the first who didn't pretend not to be black. For years, players had passed or were described as Indian or Cuban. Back in 1872, a black man by the name of Bud Fowler broke into organized ball. And in 1884, two brothers, Weldy and Moses Fleetwood Walker, that's right, Moses Fleetwood Walker, played with Toledo of the American Association. Since blacks and whites weren't allowed to compete on the same field in most places in America, although a black jockey did win the Kentucky Derby, a group of waiters at a Babylon, Long Island restaurant passed themselves off as Cubans and played semi-pro white teams. They became the noted Cuban Giants, the first outstanding black team in America. Their Spanish probably was limited to no. But there were always situations. The most noted ball player of the 1880s was Adrian Cap Anson of the Chicago White Sox. In an exhibition game with Newark of the Eastern League, he simply walked off the field rather than play on the same field with Newark's light-skinned pitcher. John McGraw in 1902 tried to sneak a black man in when he was managing the Orioles. The player's name was Charlie Grant, but McGraw called him Chief Tokahama. The plot failed and Grant was forced to leave the team. Ty Cobb, whose .367 batting average remains untouched by any other ball player, toured Cuba in 1910, and some of the players on his team were black. He came back disgruntled that three of them had out-hit him. How about that? Disgruntled, huh? Meanwhile, New York was developing into the capital of black baseball as tens of thousands of Southern blacks made the migration north to settle in the major cities. Harlem quickly became the political, cultural, and residential capital of New York blacks. When World War I ended, a Negro National League was formed, joined by an Eastern Colored League. Teams in both leagues played white teams every fall after the World Series was over. But this caused some embarrassment to Major League Baseball when the black teams won. So Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis ruled that if any of his Major League teams played a black team, the Major League team would not wear its regular uniform. Instead, they had to call themselves All-Stars. This way, it wasn't the Yankees or Giants or White Sox getting beaten by Negro ball players. It was just some collection of white ball players, but it wasn't the actual team, My team, the Black Barons, joined the Negro National League in 1917, along with their rookie pitcher, Sookie now, their rookie pitcher, Satchel Paige. But it had been formed some years earlier. By the time the Depression rolled around, the players were grateful for a chance to play 2 and 3 games a day, even though they traveled in buses. World War II changed attitudes. Perhaps the first stirrings of blacks concerning big league baseball actually happened during the war. Bill Veeck, who was to do some unpopular things as an owner, such as make Larry Doby the American League's first black ball player and put a midget up to bat. Okay. Had been aware of the existence of great black ball players for decades. It went back to his years with the Chicago Cubs when his father was president of the club. During the war, Veeck owned the Milwaukee Brewers of the American Association. But as he did with most things in life, he got tired of them after they had some success and he had made some money. In 1945, the war was about to end and Veek was searching for a team. Now Veek took off on his most outrageous plan of all. The Philadelphia Phillies were for sale. Veek planned not only to buy those losers, but to stock the team with black baseball stars. After all, there was no law preventing an owner from hiring a black ball player. When Landis got wind of Veek's plans, the old judge quickly found a more conservative buyer for the team. While I was growing up, a way of life and a cast of characters with a wonderful history evolved in the black leagues that rivaled anything organized baseball could muster. Goose Tatum played first base for the Indianapolis Clowns, for example, becoming the star attraction of the Harlem Globetrotters. Players used to recall the days of $2 meal money. The problem, even with the $2, was that you couldn't always find a place to spend it. They ate out of grocery stores in the South because often they couldn't find a restaurant that would serve them. They could not find a restaurant that would serve them. In other words, they couldn't get served anywhere. What ironies they must have appreciated. They would go to the Polo Grounds and draw 30,000 fans. The annual East-West game in Chicago between the black teams attracted as many as 50,000 fans. The blacks played in South America, Puerto Rico, Cuba. They were America's ambassadors. Did fans know the reason the players were traveling men, going so far from home? They used a Wilson ball, a store-bought item. Their bats came off the shelves and were not customized in Louisville by Hillerich and Bradbury. The ball wasn't as lively as the Major League ball. The bats were not as solid and certainly not tailor-made. In 1948, though, Artie Wilson of Birmingham led everyone, black and white, with a .402 batting average. Ooh-wee. That's pretty high. Teams would travel in baggage cars. If they were playing in Pittsburgh on Saturday night, why, they'd play a doubleheader in Washington on Sunday. If they were staying overnight someplace, they might rent 3 rooms and squeeze in all 9 players. But what if you got hurt? We didn't have a paid trainer, Buck Leonard told me. We rubbed each other. Night games presented problems. Teams brought along portable lights, and players would string them up over the field before game time. A pitcher on each team was also a scorer and kept track of runs and hits and errors. But if he had to come in as a relief pitcher, someone else would finish handling the scoring. No wonder Negro League records are hard to come by. In non-league exhibition games against a semi-pro team, the winner would get 60% and the loser 40%. Since the umpires were local guys, they favored the semi-pro teams. This was the game of baseball in America as it was played outside the big league parks, in the Texas League or in AAA places or the Sally League. People think that black baseball somehow was like a minor league version of white baseball. No way. It was baseball for the best black ball players in America. What kind of team do you think we'd have today if it contained the best black ball players? I think we'd have a shot at the pennant. But there have been a lot of myths about those times and leagues and players, as if we were just a bunch of characters flitting around in a sagging old yellow school bus, as if it was unorganized and sort of played just for fun, not following the rules. That is so far from the truth. I'm not talking now about the exhibition games we played in Yankee Stadium or Kaminsky Park in Chicago. We did fine right in Birmingham too. On Sundays, there would be anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000 fans at Rickwood Field. It might have been black baseball, but the white fans got the best seats. Maybe 500 white folks would show up on Sundays. They sat in a special section along the third baseline. The Black Barons were owned by Tom Hayes, an undertaker from Memphis, and we shared the field with the White Barons. They had the first choice of the playing dates, and we scheduled our games when they were on the road. Despite its seemingly unorganized nature, black baseball did have its organization, and each season was crowned by the Negro World Series, and we felt that we were as good as the other world champions. As a matter of fact, as it turns out, they were better. Okay? Comparing the Negro Leagues to Major League Baseball is like trying to compare Simone Biles to anybody in gymnastics at any time, anywhere on the planet. Go for it. Yeah, see if you can find somebody else that could do what that girl does. 7 world championships, unheard of. She's created 4 or 5 different moves with her name on it, and they won't score it high like they should do. They score it low because they don't want to encourage the other gymnasts to try to do what she does because they don't want them to break their neck. Yeah, that's right. They don't want them to break their neck. So, yeah, there's no comparison between the Negro Leagues and Major League Baseball. Negro Leagues up here, Major League Baseball down there. And since there's not a lot of video, there's some video, it's hard to really get a good idea. So you got to get some books, you got to watch some documentaries, and for sure, watch the movie Bingo Long's Traveling All-Stars, and there might be another one. I think there's a couple of them that are about, you might even watch the one 42. That might have some good scenes in there too. That was about Jackie Robinson. But Jackie was a low-level player. He was like a freshman, a newbie, not top-notch. Okay? Jackie Robinson was not one of the best Negro League players when he went into Major League Baseball. He was a middle-of-the-road journeyman, okay? Not like Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, and so many other names that I'm not going to name right now. But at any rate, that's our presentation for today. Let me go ahead. We're going to transition on out. But before we go, we got a little thing we got to do. Actually, you got a little thing you got to do, especially if you just got out of school, because school just ended around here. So I imagine a lot of you youngsters out there just got out of school too. So right about now, y'all need to go ahead and take your little head and put it on your little pillow, on your little bed, and close those your eyes and wait for that sun to rise. And when you feel those sunbeams beaming down on your eyes, you know that it's time for you to rise and shine, oh chillin' of mine. In the meantime, all you adults out there, you got a couple of tasks you need to do too. Job number 1, go ahead and give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching on the tube. After you've done that, go ahead and become a sustaining member of the Black Facts family. Easy to do. Just go to our website, blakfacts.org. Hit the donate button up there in the corner. Okay? That's one way to do it. There are other ways to do it on Facebook. Look for the coins next to our profile picture. Click the profile picture. That'll take you to a donate button. If you're on your phone, go to your notifications in Facebook. If you're on your laptop and you're on Facebook, just look below any one of our live streams. Same goes for YouTube, and that'll take you to the link where you can make a donation. But you want to become a sustaining member, what you want to do is go ahead and make a commitment to donate so many dollars per month. 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever you feel comfortable with. If you could do that, that would help us out immensely, and we will continue presenting these stories to you that you've never heard before. Peace out without a doubt. Of course, with justice, because anything less discussed us. This is Doc Ock at noon and 9, signing off. You know when to find me and you know right where. We'll see you right here tomorrow at noon. Peace out until then.